Our most fundamental obligation as a society is to protect the most vulnerable among us, the children. Yet for some children, the very people who should protect them are the ones who harm them, their parents. At any given time in Mesa County, approximately 350 children live in foster care. A medically fragile infant born 4 months premature with meth in her system. A 4-month-old so lethargic he won't eat, losing weight at an alarming rate because he's being exposed to secondhand smoke, marijuana smoke. A 9-month-old living in a filthy hotel shared with an assortment of adults with a diaper rash so severe it's bleeding, and she's slapped for crying too much. The family's evicted from the hotel and now live out of their car. A toddler is put to bed and then left home alone while her parents spend hours at a local bar. She wakes up alone and frightened. A 5-year-old feeds his younger sister chocolate syrup for dinner because it's all he can find to eat. A 2nd grader so severely beaten by his father, he's in a wheelchair with serious brain damage. A 4-year-old walks up and down the streets looking for a neighbor who will give him something to eat because his mom's passed out at home and he can't wake her. A young teen girl, raped by her stepdad for the last 3 years, learns she's pregnant. There are government systems in place to help these children. Law enforcement officers, social workers, attorneys, judges, and foster parents. But the system isn't without its challenges. Social workers juggle continuously increasing caseloads with an ever-growing number of federal and state regulations. With a limited number of foster parents, children are often placed in homes far from their current neighborhoods, forcing them to change schools, leaving their friends and familiar surroundings behind. But there is a solution: court-appointed special advocates, or CASA. Volunteers are really the heart and soul of CASA. It's just average citizens that we train and provide support for. The judge then appoints them to be the voice of the child in court. On average, a CASA volunteer will spend about 8 to 10 hours a month on the case. They'll meet with the child once, if not more often a month. They'll talk to teachers, foster parents, extended family, other professionals, and they'll take all that information and provide a comprehensive perspective to the court in terms of what's in the best interest of the child. There are really so many moving parts to the system that sometimes a CASA volunteer is really the only consistent adult in that child's life during the duration of their case, so they're really critical.
I like to, when I'm swearing in CASA volunteers, I like to tell them that their job is to be the eyes and ears of the court and the voice of the children, because those are things that courts desperately need. We understand that when we are dealing with cases involving children that we're making decisions that can have a lifetime impact, and sometimes we don't get all of the information that we would like to have, or maybe don't get unbiased information, and that's what we look to the CASA volunteers for, so that we can have the best chance of making the best decision for these children who are innocent victims in all of these cases.
It's a model program with a track record of better outcomes for kids. Decades of research shows that kids who have a CASA volunteer spend less time in foster care and more quickly settle into a permanent home. Kids with a CASA volunteer typically do better in school and are socially better adjusted. Over 125 children in Mesa County have a CASA advocate assigned to them, but there's another 120 kids on a waiting list, waiting for a CASA, waiting for a voice in court. But you can change that. You can be the person who makes the difference in a child's life.